ka bhasha. What is the description of a wise man? What is the description of a Brahmajnani? First, let me put it that way. Because the word wise man, again means so many things to so many people. In this world, you use the word wisdom, it means different things for different people, really. What is wisdom? One person, he is honest and therefore loses some money, and we call him unwise. You see? Another person was not so honest but he earned money, him we call wise. This wisdom, the very word wisdom is free for all in this world. This is unfortunate. Because even the word wisdom is subject to interpretation in a subjective manner. That's why I say it's a free for all. The word interpreting the approach to the meaning of the word wisdom is no different from the traffic at Mulchand when there are no red light, there are no lights. Have you ever seen the traffic? It's free for all. There is nobody to regulate the traffic. There are no lights to regulate the traffic. There is nobody, there is no officer, there is no police officer to regulate the traffic. Then what is it? Free for all. That's called free for all. No holds barred. Nothing is forbidden there. Sab chalta hai. You understand? Everything goes. Everything goes. Free for all. This atmosphere is called chaos. Similarly, here no norms are followed, no codes are followed, nothing. It becomes a jungle law. The survival of the fittest kind. This survival of the fittest kind causes all problems in the society. But anyway, this word wisdom also you always interpret as it suits your convenience. All our interpretation of the world, God and ourselves, everything has to fall in line with our convenience. Here in Bhagavad Gita, when we say, when Arjuna asked the question, please, hey Bhagavan, tell me, give me the description of a wise man. According to Arjuna, a wise man means what? A Brahmajnani, the one who understands the truth. The one who understands the self. The one who has self-knowledge is called a Brahmajnani, is called Sthita Prajnaha. And Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha. Sentence number 1. What is the description of a wise man? Samadhisthasya Keshava. And this wise man who abides in his own composure. Samadhi means mental composure. Samadhisthaha means samadhau sthitaha. The one who abides in his own tranquility. The one who abides in the tranquility of his being. He is not abiding in the tranquility worked up. It is the choiceless, tranquil nature of the being. Like silence is never worked up, really. In fact, you can't work up tranquility. It is the noise that is worked up. It is the disturbance that is worked up. It is, in fact, anything that is opposed to tranquility that is worked up. Problems are worked up. Problems are worked up. But tranquility is not worked up. Tranquility is not worked up. Are you able to follow? Silence is not worked up. Silence is not worked up. Noise is made. Another word for it, worked up. Noise is worked up, but silence is not worked up. Therefore, Shanti is not worked up, Shanti is. Shanti is. Therefore, when a Jnani abides in peace, he doesn't abide in peace that is worked up, he abides in peace that is his nature. In fact, all our nature is Shanti. What is not worked up is the nature. What is worked up is extraneous. Understand this. Anything that is worked up is extraneous. What is without getting worked up is the nature. You know, the heat in the fire is not worked up. Fire effortlessly enjoys heat. Space doesn't work up accommodating nature in it. Space doesn't work up space in it. Space is accommodative, effortlessly accommodative. Space is effortlessly accommodative. Fire is effortlessly hot. It doesn't have to work. Similarly, Shanti is the effortless nature of the seer. And therefore, when a wise man finds tranquility, it is not a worked up tranquility, because tranquility in any case can't be worked up. I want you to follow. Tranquility in any case can't be worked up. Therefore, you can never have an artificial tranquility. Never. Tranquility is always, there can be pretensions to tranquility. There can be pretensions to tranquility, but tranquility itself cannot be artificial, because it's reality, it's truth. It's truth. Like, even though in my mind I am disturbed, on my face I can really try to invoke a look on my face as though a tranquil look. I can put on a facade of tranquility, but I can't have an artificial tranquility. What is that artificial? Tranquility is a fact. There cannot be an artificial sound. Sound is a sound. Similarly, silence is a fact. And therefore, here Arjuna asks a question, Hey Bhagavan, please give me the description of a wise man who abides in tranquility, which is his own nature. If tranquility is the nature of a wise man, then that is the tranquility of every man, every jiva. But the tranquility, when it is discovered, we call him a wise man. If it is yet to be discovered, if one has not discovered, we call him ignorant. And if he is trying to discover, we call him a student. I think I have said a lot, if you have followed it. I have said a lot of things. I mean, you said a lot, but we didn't hear all. We are very we are great, we selectively hear, we don't hear everything. We are very selective in hearing. Therefore, when a person has registered the tranquility, we call him a jnani. And if he doesn't, and if he is searching for the tranquility outside, he is called the ignorant, the lay, the searcher. The one who is looking for peace outside, he is called a searcher, the ignorant. And if a person is trying to understand how tranquility is the nature of himself, he is called a student. Thus we have only three: a searcher of tranquility, a student who wants to understand tranquility. He is not searching for tranquility, he wants to understand tranquility. For whom tranquility is a reality to be understood. For whom tranquility is a reality to be understood, such a person is called a student. And when he understands it, we call him a jnani. Thus the whole world of individuals can be can be brought under three heads: the ignorant, the students, and the clear. The confused, the thinking, and the clear. The one who is searching is confused. He believes he has to get it from outside. And another person has woken up. My God, it's not outside, it can't be outside, it has to be my own nature. Thus he becomes a student of himself. And when he becomes clear, we call him Brahman. Therefore, here Bhagavan says, Arjuna says, Hey Bhagavan, please teach me, please tell me, give me the description of a wise man who abides in tranquility of his own nature. That is the first line. And then we'll see the second line. Sthitadhihi. And a wise man is one who is not wavering. He is quiet and clear. You know, there are two things. One is tranquility, the other is clarity. Clarity about that the self is tranquil by nature. He is very clear, not wavering. He has no doubts. He has no doubts. Nor is it possible to say that you can never reach a state free from doubt, because doubt is always there. Therefore, that you can't say that, because the possibility of a doubt, the doubt is always about the undoubtable. The doubt is not about the doubtable, because if the doubt is about the doubtable, then it ceases to be a doubt. Are you able to follow? Did you hear? Did you hear? Oh my God. The doubt, if it is about the doubtable, then it ceases to be a doubt. That's not a doubt. The doubt is, the doubt, if it is about the doubtable, then you can never really remove the doubt. If the doubtability is the nature of the thing, then the doubt about it is also eternal. A doubt is that the doubt is by nature that which can be removed. Simple definition. What is a doubt? That which can be removed is a doubt. If doubt cannot be removed, then it becomes what? A reality. Doubt, if it is unremovable, it becomes a reality. But a doubt by nature can be removed. Every doubt can be removed. It may take time to remove it, but it enjoys the nature of it is available to be answered. Every question is available to be answered, otherwise it ceases to be a question. Every question is available to be answered. One may take time to answer it, one may take time to find the answer, but every question has the answer. Every doubt has a clearance. And every doubt can be cleared, every question can be answered, because every doubt and question that man has is about the undoubtable, the himself. If we analyze every doubt is always, every doubt is about the undoubtable, the truth. Every doubt is about the self. Are you able to follow? You have to follow. Every doubt is about the self. You have to persist. You have to analyze. Then ultimately understand the doubt is about oneself. And a person who is free from the doubt is called Sthitadihi, the one who is free from the doubt. Now this intellectual always, how can you ever be free from the doubt? Freedom from the doubt means stagnation. Therefore you should continue to doubt to be growing. Therefore doubt should be there forever, so that you can keep growing. This is a peculiar intellection. I don't understand this. This is all called perversion, perverted intellection. Yes. Why? Everybody really wants to clear the doubt so that he can reach a state in which where the doubt is impossible. I don't want to torment myself with doubts. Even when I go for clearance of doubts, Even when I go for clearance of doubts, I want to I want to be free from being tormented by doubts. It is not that really I want to put on growth after growth by entertaining doubt after doubt and going after clarity after clarity. That's not. In fact, everybody craves to enjoy a situation in which he is not tormented by doubt. And there is a natural longing for a doubt-free, torment-free tranquility. There is a natural, effortless love for doubt-free, torment-free peace. And because there is a natural love, and therefore it has to have its fulfillment, and it has its fulfillment because what we love is already there as a fact. What we love is torment-free Shanti, and that happens to be our nature. That is why we love it so effortlessly. We can never love effortlessly what is not available. I mean, this is a huge light in life. This is a huge light in life, that we can never have a natural love for what is not available. You think about it. You can never have a natural, effortless, universal love. Natural love means what? You cannot just be without loving it. Everybody loves to be peaceful. The love for peace is very, very important to understand. The love for peace is not an incident, is not an accident, it's not a fashion. Love for happiness is not a fashion, please. आजकल दुनिया, everybody, आजकल लोग बड़ा खुशी चाहते हैं. आजकल लोग, आजकल, nowadays people want to be happy. All right. During which days did they not want to be happy? Nowadays people want to be peaceful. All right. During which days did they not want to be peaceful? Therefore, if there is love for peace, understand peace is available, and it cannot be available anywhere outside oneself, because everything other than ourselves is a form, sound, taste, touch, smell. Form can't be a synonym of peace. Sound, taste, touch, smell can't be synonym of peace. Therefore, peace cannot be a quality of form, sound, taste, touch, smell. Peace cannot be an attribute of the creation. Tranquility cannot be the attribute of the creation. And still, if it is there, if there is tranquility, if there is peace, and yet if it is not the attribute of creation, and if it is still there, it has to be the attribute or the nature of the seer of it. This is a huge light in life. These are the guiding lights in life. The guiding lights are not the lights that we get from the sky. They are the lights coming from the scripture. The guiding lights come from our scripture. The guiding lights come from your scripture. It is not a prophet written scripture. It is the eternal. It is the Shabda Pramanam. It is synonymous. It has been there with the creation. Like eyes are not written by prophet. Eyes are the means. Like the sight of the form is not man's creation. Sight is not man's creation. The faculty to reason is not man's creation. I use sight, I use reasoning. Similarly, this sight of the truth, which is put in various words, is called the scripture, and therefore these guiding lights come from your scripture. And what is one of the guiding lights? We love peace so effortlessly, so universally, so naturally, and that peace can't be the attribute of the creation, and if it's still there, it has to be my nature. Thus the one who has discovered tranquility as the nature of the self, he is called Sthita Dhihi. Kim Prabhasheta? Arjuna has asked now, the first question is, please give me the description of a wise man who is rooted in his tranquility of his being, and who is very clear about his being. First question. The second question is, Kim Prabhasheta? How does he talk? This is something, This is more a curiosity. You see? It's almost like you are going to a Baba. And then, you go to a Baba. Baba, you understand? Some Baba, some Swami somewhere on the outskirts. Somewhere, you go to a cave. Say, then you want to know, you don't want to know what is truth in life, what is this and what is that. You ask a question, Baba, do you see hand? आप हाथ देखते हैं? आपने घर क्यों छोड़ा? This is all what is what, This is all wasting time. When you have gone to a Swami, you better ask the most important questions. Most important. But anyway, Arjuna, he just stress. First question is very beautiful. What is the description of a wise man? The second question is, how does he talk? What does he talk? Kim Prabhashet. And then it becomes still lesser. Kim Asita. How does he sit down? वो कैसे बैठते हैं, कैसे उठते हैं, किम आसित. Vrajeta Kim, and how does he walk? How does a wise man sit down, stand up, walk, talk? What is the description? Even though this is how Arjuna asked the question, Krishna's glory. His glory lies. A teacher is one who never answers the question straight. A teacher is one who first edits the question and answers it. Because the person who asks the question himself doesn't know really how to ask the question. Therefore, a teacher has to first edit the question. Edit the question and answer it. Edit the question. That is why whenever when a Swami is interviewed, are you hearing? When a Swami is interviewed, and the interviewer asks a question to the Swami, and the Swami edits the question and answers, and then immediately after that interviewer, do you know what he says? आप मेरा प्रश्न का समाधान दिया ही नहीं. You understand that these are the jokers. These are the real jokers. I say, for 1 hour I have told, for 1 hour I have answered your question, and at the end of the hour he says, आप मेरा प्रश्न का तो समाधान नहीं दिया. I did not answer your question, but I did answer your question as edited. First I edited your question and answered. ये सारी अपने आप को समझना चाहिए. The interviewer has to understand these things. That is why when Arjuna asks the question, Krishna edits the question. Now that edited question I will first tell you. Describing a person is of no use, because our liberation does not lie in knowing the description of a person. By just knowing how a person, a jnani, sits and how he gets up, how he stands and what he eats and what he doesn't eat, how he talks, does it help you? There is no Purushartha Siddhi. Describing a Brahmajnani means describing his vision. Describing the person means describing his vision. How does he think? What does he think? What is the topic? Therefore, by describing a person, we get nothing. Describing a person should mean what? How does he think? Even in normal day-to-day life, when you just now, what do you think about that person? What do you think about that person? Supposing you ask this question to somebody, then the other person says, I think he's 6 feet tall. He gets up at 8 o'clock and then he eats non-vegetarian. Is that the answer that you ever give? What do you think about that person means what do you think that person thinks? Description of a person should mean the description of the vision. Description of his perceptions, vision. A Brahmajnani's vision. And ultimately, describing the vision of a person means describing the subject matter of his vision, the topic of his vision. And describing the topic of the vision of a Brahmajnani is describing Brahman. Thus, whether you describe a Brahmajnani or you describe Brahman, it is the same. Why? Shastram itself says, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who understands the truth doesn't stand separate from the truth. The one who knows the tree can't be the tree. When you know the tree, you don't become the tree, you stand separate from the tree and know the tree. We stand separate from every object and know the object, but we can't stand separate from God and yet know God. It's not possible. It's like you can't stand separate from the waker and yet wake up. You can't stand separate from the dreamer and yet be dreaming. You can't stand separate from the self and yet be the self. And therefore, describing a Brahmajnani means describing his vision. Describing his vision means describing his entire fundamental, comprehensive vision which comprehends all attitudes also. Attitudes also only point to a vision. Attitudes don't point to mere attitudes, attitudes point to vision. Because attitudes are governed by vision. Important. Attitudes are governed by vision. Like a person who has the vision that money is not everything in life, that vision brings about an attitude. If my brother has taken a little more money, koi baat nahi. That's what? An attitude. If my brother has taken a little more money, it doesn't matter. That's called attitude. But behind the attitude is the vision. What is the vision? Money is not everything, and he knows it very well. It doesn't remain a fashionable sentence in a statement to be paraded in parties. Money is not everything. One businessman is telling another, money is not everything. The other person says, I am not new to that statement. I know it. Money is not everything. Mujhe maloom hai. Money is not everything. Ek din jana hai. Wo bhi mujhe maloom hai. This is what really in all parties, what are we talking? We keep on talking all stupid things. And the other person says, I know it. One says, the other person responds, I know it. But a thinking man, when he says money is not everything, and if he means it, is he not a different person? Is he not a peaceful man? A man who says in his heart money is not everything and means it. Is he not a saint? I am being very serious. A man who says money is not everything and means it in his heart. Means it. Is he not a saint? I tell you, he is a saintly man. He is a saintly man. He is a Mahatma. And therefore, all attitudes point to vision. It is that vision that Arjuna wanted to know. He asked the question all right, but the question even the question is, how does he sit down, how does he stand up, how does he talk? In fact, these questions are never answered by Krishna. All the time Krishna answers only, he only describes Krishna only describes a Brahmajnani's vision. And what is that vision? Now see the next sloka. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha is Sri Bhagavan means the one who is the owner of the entire wealth. Sometimes you may have a doubt, what does Bhagavan mean? Bhagavan means the one to whom all wealth belongs. Meaning the entire Srishti belongs to Bhagavan. That wealth can be sixfold wealth, or it's all jnanam, all dhanam, all prosperity, all vairagyam, all yashas, all fame, ityadi. All these things are what? It is all Bhagavan. Like all waves belong to water. Therefore, even in understanding the meaning of the word Bhagavan, we become humble. That means all that we enjoy belongs to the source. The 5 elements that we enjoy don't belong to the enjoyer. The 5 elements that we enjoy belong to the source. Like the pot, like the table that I am using, doesn't belong to me actually, it belongs to the wood. I mean, peculiar way of looking at things, you see, it's correct way. The table doesn't belong to me, the table belongs to the wood. The wood belongs to the elements. Elements belong to their source, Parameshwara. That way, if you go on tracking, ultimately you hit the source. Therefore, everything belongs to the source. And that source to whom everything belongs, the whole creation belongs, is called Sri Bhagavan. So, Bhagavan Krishna says now, if that is so, if that is understood, then when you enjoy it as prasadam. When you give something to something, and also it's Bhagavan's. I am giving what belongs to Bhagavan. I am also enjoying what belongs to Bhagavan. What I take is prasadam, and what you give also is prasadam. Ishwar ka prasad le lo. This is called prasada buddhi. Prasada buddhi means what? You look upon everything as prasadam, and wherever there is prasadam, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate. One of the most beautiful sentences of Bhagavad Gita. In prasada buddhi, you have no problem. When you look upon everything as God's prasadam, then you are humble. You always feel there is prasannata. Okay, anyway, that Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he says now, the first description of a Brahmajnani is this. We are going to have a few beautiful verses. Try to follow. Just listen. And then how much we grasp, that's unimportant. First receiving, just listening, that's important. Shravanam is important. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. First he gives the first answer. Who is Sthita Prajna? The description of a Sthita Prajna. Who is a Sthita Prajna? Meaning, who is a Jnani? Who is a Brahmajnani? Who is wise? Bhagavan Krishna says, whoever has wisdom is wise. Whoever has jnanam is a jnani. Are you able to follow? Whoever has dhanam is a dhani. Whoever has dhanam is a dhani. Whoever has jnanam is a jnani. Whoever has brahma jnanam is a brahma jnani. Now the question is, what is brahma jnanam? What is wisdom? That's being unfolded here in this verse. Prajahati yada. First you take the word yada. Yada means when. When means when. At the time when. When. Prajahati. When one renounces. Jahati means renounces. Prajahati means renounces for good. There is two meanings. Both. Sometimes we renounce in order to pick it back again. We leave to pick it back. But sometimes you leave it for good. How many times we leave, again we pick it up. Leave and pick it up. It's like, and therefore anyway, like a vice, you leave it and again re-begin. Or a lot of things, some wrong habits we leave and again re-begin. For a few days you leave non-vegetarian and again re-begin. Previously, you were a simple non-vegetarian. You were a non-vegetarian in an Indian sense. Then you become vegetarian for 2 years, and afterwards you become a non-vegetarian in a Western sense. You understand? The vengeance. Hey Rama. This is what is called, we leave and again we pick it up. That is jahati. Prajahati means you renounce for good. When one renounces for good, come on, desires. When one renounces all desires, later on we understand, we have to get the sense out of it. When one renounces all desires means without any exception. Bas. When one renounces all desires, sarvan, all, Bhagavan himself says, sarvan, sari. When one renounces all desires for good, partha, hey Arjuna, manogatan, present in one's mind. When one renounces all one's desires which had taken root in one's mind, दिमाग में जितने desires थे, उनको जब renounce, when one renounces all the desires that had made nests in the mind, the desires that had made the mind their permanent dwelling place. Making each desire has its own nest, and each desire has got, it has got its own young ones. Each desire has its own young. That is how they keep on multiplying. They are not, the number of desires doesn't remain static. They keep multiplying. In fact, I am saying this because it's not mine. Shankaracharya in Kathopanishad uses this. Your mind is like a huge tree in which there are birds from every direction and they lay eggs, and then the chicks hatch, and then the young ones are making noise, and the older one, the birds are fighting with one another for space. There is a lack of space, overcrowded, fighting morning, evening, this is called. And then there is one sentence, one phrase, muncha, muncha, ha, ha, ooh, muncha, muncha. This is the cloud. Means what? Leave me alone, leave me. Each bird is saying, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. Because there is a jagada. And everybody is panting for peace. In that manner, the desires have occupied the mind, their permanent dwelling place, and they are getting all the time multiplied. And in the midst of those desires, I am panting for peace. I am panting for relaxation. I am panting for some relief. And when one renounces all the desires, is it not true the whole life is nothing but really remaining under the pressure of desire? Where is living? Who does live? Who lives? Does anybody live? No. Always. One is always under the pressure. One is always under the pressure. Therefore, when one renounces all the desires from one's mind, now renunciation of the desires is not itself doesn't make one fulfilled. Renunciation of the desire, Krishna says, mere renunciation of the desire itself does not fulfill your life. Just as desire doesn't fulfill, giving up desire also doesn't fulfill. Please better note down in your mind. Just as desires don't fulfill, giving up desires also doesn't fulfill. Merely giving up, just giving up desire. You give up the desire and you get fulfilled. That's not the truth. Neither desires bring about fulfillment, nor giving up desires bring about fulfillment. In fact, giving up desires becomes conducive for understanding the truth. Desire is not conducive. Desires don't create a conducive atmosphere. Desires don't facilitate grasping the truth, but freedom from desire can facilitate. Freedom from desire can facilitate. Desires don't facilitate. Therefore, here Krishna says, I don't say just by giving up desires you will become very happy. He says, after giving up desires can be a means that can help you understand the truth when the truth is taught. That is also important. It is not that just giving up desires immediately gives you enlightenment. No. Giving up desires makes it easier for you to study and understand the truth. Like a student in school, a student who has got less number of desires, whose mind is free from desires, makes it easy for him to listen, to study and to understand. That's important. And that is said in the next line, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. Having the one who renounces all the desires from one's mind, and then Atmani Eva Atmana Tushtaha. Atmani in oneself, Atmana by oneself, Tushtaha satisfied. The one who is satisfied within himself as himself. The one who is satisfied within himself. That means what? The means of satisfaction and the source of satisfaction are not two, it is one. The means of satisfaction and the source of satisfaction are not two. It's like, you see, when I enjoy some coffee, then I get satisfaction by means of coffee which is other than me. You have to listen. Are you listening? When you enjoy coffee, then you always feel that I get satisfaction not by means of myself, but I get satisfaction by means of coffee, which is other than me. Which is other than me. Which is other than me. But in Brahmajnanam, one is satisfied by means of oneself. He gets satisfied. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Satisfied within himself by himself. And therefore, if he has to, by means of oneself, therefore this has to be, we'll explain it later on, but first understand the word meaning. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. The one who is satisfied. Sthita prajñas tadochyate. Sthita prajñaha. A person who is clear. Tada, then uchyate is called. Then that person is called a clear person, a firmly clear, a very wise. This is a definition of a wise man. This is not just a description. Later on, what does he do? That's not. What is a wise man? The one who renounces all the desires from his mind and is happy with himself. He has found the one who is satisfied within himself. He is called Sthita Prajñaha Tada Uchyate. Clear? And now we have to analyze. And don't be in a hurry to go. Just remain. Self-control. 5 minutes, 10 minutes में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. If one can't sit through for 40-45 minutes, for Brahmajnan कहाँ से आएंगे? If a person can't have 5 minutes, if you can't have 5 minutes patience, then how are you going to live with? How can you have a family? That is why even for marriage, what is the condition? You have to have patience. समझदारी होना चाहिए. समझदारी होना. Therefore, just another few minutes, we will all go in. कोई नहीं रहेंगे जी, सब लोग जाएंगे. यहाँ पर शाम तक कौन रहना है? ना आप रहेंगे ना हम रहेंगे. Just sit through the class. When you come to the class, be prepared to sit through the class. And if you follow that discipline, भगवान की कृपा से कुछ तो मिलेगा. Now, I have made one statement. Desire by itself doesn't fulfill. Giving up desire also. Then what is giving up desire? You said desire doesn't fulfill. Giving up desire also does not fulfill. Point number one. Point number two. Giving up desires or renouncing desires makes it easy to understand the truth, whereas keeping desires active in one's mind comes in the way of understanding the truth. This is also very clear, definitely, because keeping desires in one's mind means keeping unfulfilled desires, is it not? You don't keep a fulfilled desire in your mind, you always keep unfulfilled desires. And keeping an unfulfilled desire in mind means you are anxious, you are craving. You are looking for when will it be fulfilled, how will it be fulfilled, will I be able to fulfill it? This is all dreaming. I'm anxious. I'm anxious. Whenever I have a desire, I have anxiety. That silent anxiety is what kills a human being. That silent anxiety. Minus that anxiety, you are peaceful. Understand how man gets liberated from the hold of that anxiety. Now, this is understandable that when I have an unfulfilled desire in my mind, I am suffering that silent anxiety. And silent anxiety is a problem. That silent anxiety is a problem, and silent anxiety works silently. Like, sometimes blood pressure is silent. Why? Because anxiety also is silent. So naturally, blood pressure also is silent. A lot of problems just are silent in oneself because the anxiety is silent. And this is very clear that unfulfilled desires in one's mind are not worth keeping. I'm telling you, they are not worth keeping. Because even if I fulfill one desire, it gives place to another unfulfilled desire. And I fulfill that, then it gives place to another unfulfilled. In fact, it's never free. The mind is never vacant. It is always occupied. It's always some tenant or the other is there. So it's always occupied. Some desire is always there. Therefore, here, giving up an unfulfilled desire liberates man from that silent anxiety, and therefore there is a silent serenity. There is a silent tranquility. There is a silent serenity. There is a silent tranquility when there is freedom from that silent anxiety. There is a silent anxiety. Freedom from that silent anxiety is serenity. Then with that serenity, you can probe, you can study and understand the truth. You are available for yourself. This I understand, Swamiji, that freedom from the unfulfilled desire means freedom from silent anxiety, and freedom from anxiety means it is a lot of peace. All that I understand, but how do I give up the desires? The problem is that. How do I give up the desires? Giving up the desires is not an action. I am going to talk on it. We will talk about it, and you have to hear. There will be no problem. If you hear, you will be able to understand life much better. You will strike depths into your own being. But you have to hear. As a very serious student. Giving up desires is not an action, nor is it a resolve. You can't give up desires just because you make a resolve to renounce. It is not the result of a strong resolve. Is it clear? On a New Year day, you make a resolve to renounce bindi, bangan, to be Karela, that is the most. On every New Year day, you make a resolve to give up Karela because you never liked it. Or you always want to give up something which doctor says is not good for you, but then after next week, you pick it up. Strong resolves don't go a long way. They don't go a very long way. Mere resolve, nothing. It is the vision that can help us to get out of the desires. That vision is different from a resolve. A resolve without vision is just being blind. It's a blindness. It's a firm blindness. Firm resolve without a vision, firm resolve without a vision is like a firm blindness. It's a firm blindness. And therefore, don't bank on too much. You must strongly resolve and all that these jokers say. This doesn't work. Krishna doesn't talk about the strong resolve. Krishna always says, discover that the fulfillment of a desire does not amount to fulfillment. Fulfilling a desire, fulfilling a desire for a given thing doesn't amount to fulfillment. Why? Because fulfillment is not a product. It doesn't result from fulfilling a desire. It's not a result. Fulfillment is not a result. You have to hear that sentence. Fulfillment is not a result of something. It's not a resultant factor. What did I say? It's not a resultant factor. Like I clap, sound is the resultant factor. I move, I cover the distance is a resultant factor. I frown and elicit a frown from the other person, that is a resultant factor. When I shout, I attract, I shout. Every shout, I shout at the other person, I make the other person shout at me. What is it? It is a result. It's a result. It's the reaction. But fulfillment is not a resultant factor. Therefore, neither fulfillment is born of desire, nor fulfillment is born of fulfilling a desire. Did you hear that? Neither fulfillment is born of a desire, nor is it born of fulfilling a desire. Even if one were to enjoy the whole God's creation, you go on enjoying, first you enjoy all earthly pleasures, then you go to heaven and enjoy all heavenly pleasures, then you go to a higher world and enjoy all. You enjoy God's creation, the whole God's creation. Even then you will remain the same. I want more. I want more. I want more. I want more. Like fire. Can you ever satisfy fire by feeding it? Krishna has given a classical, most beautiful example. You cannot describe a desire. You can't describe a desire better than the description, the way Krishna has done it. You can't do it better. Krishna says, desire is like fire. The more you feed it, the more it wants. The more you feed the desire, the more it wants. The more you feed, the more it wants. The more you feed, the more it wants. The more you feed, the more it wants. Therefore, fulfillment is not the result of either the desire or fulfilling a desire. Therefore, if I understand this understanding, is it a resolve? Is it a resolve? Resolve means, making a, I will do it, I will not do it. This is called resolve. I want you to differentiate between making a resolve and understanding. There is a difference between I will go there is what? Resolve. I will not go there. Resolve. Desire. I can never get fulfillment from the desire, nor can I get fulfillment even if I were to fulfill desire. Discovering this fact, is it a resolve? Is it a strong resolve? Therefore, Vairagyam is not born of resolve. Vairagyam is born of right thinking. Vairagyam is born of right thinking. Vairagyam is not born of resolve. This is strong resolve. This resolve is nothing. Today morning you make a resolve. That is why marriages, at every marriage people make resolves. Before marriage, I tell you, he says, I'll bring the moon for you. And then afterwards he says, the moon is too far away, please tell me something close by. And then the girl says, no, all right, bring something from Khan market. And this person is not ready to get even that. Where are your resolves? Resolves are always broken. Promises are broken. An unbreakable promise is not available. You may keep a promise without breaking, but it is available for being broken. And that's what I want. That is the truth. A promise is available to be broken. A resolve is available to be broken. But a clarity is not available to be lost. Are you able to follow? These mobiles must be kept off. Therefore, please understand, I am just closing the class now. Please understand that the resolves can be broken. Promises are available to be broken. Even if you don't break, it doesn't matter. But now, you have to be extremely alert in order not to break a promise and not to make not. But every resolve is available to be broken. Every promise is available to be broken. But clarity, discovered clarity, you can't lose clarity. Therefore, you can't lose Vairagyam. Because Vairagyam is synonymous with clarity. Clarity about what? Where lies one's fulfillment. Where lies one's fulfillment? In seeing that there is Vairagyam, that is called renouncing all the desires. Renunciation of all desires is in the form of discovering that one's fulfillment does not lie either in having desires or in giving up desires, but in finding out the fulfillment within oneself. Fulfillment is not a resultant factor. That is the point to be understood. And therefore, what is giving up a desire? Is it a resolve? Is it a strong resolve? Is it a firm resolve? Is it an iron resolve? Or is it really making a promise in front of Bhagavan? You go to the temple and say to Bhagavan, from today onwards I will live. No. Vairagyam is neither a promise nor a resolve. Vairagyam is a discovery of a very fundamental, essential fact in life. It's a breakthrough discovery. It is a breakthrough. It is a ground-breaking discovery in life. And that is, once man's fulfillment does not lie either in having desires or merely in giving up desires. Is life, because fulfillment is not a resultant factor, it happens to be not out there anywhere. It is one's own being to be discovered. Therefore, that discovery is what we call Vairagyam. And Vairagyam is not born of any resolve. We'll continue the topic in the next class. Just you can think about it. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om.